looking at right here is a femur from a long-necked dinosaur called Diplodocus. And this is a huge femur that we pulled out of the Hanksville Dinosaur Burpee quarry a couple months ago with Mr. Beast. Being the largest bone that we've ever pulled out of the quarry, it was a fitting name. We named it Mr. Beast after him for his part of the project. They were a lot of fun. You know, you see their videos online and they do all these weird challenges and crazy, crazy things, and they were just like they are online. A lot of people ask me, so is he really as cool as he seems online? And they are. The director, when I was out there, the director basically just said, okay, the crew's gonna come in, we're just gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun, there's no script, so just kind of roll with it. They're gonna ask you questions, they're probably gonna say some funny, crazy things, and we'll just see what happens. So they came out, they saw the bones, they were super excited. Despite some of the comments they made in the video, they were really good at it. They sat down, they were very delicate with the tools, and they were focused, and they had a great time. It was just kind of goofing around, joking around, and working on dinosaur bones. Well, it's huge for me and the Burpee. I mean, this kind of audience is something that the Burpee has never seen in its history, really. We've been around since 1942, and the fact that 100 million plus people are going to view this or have viewed it is probably more exposure than the Burpee has had in the history combined. So unfortunately he didn't say our name in the video, but if you look closely, I was wearing a Burpee shirt, and I've looked at a number of comments and people are zooming in trying to figure out who we were. So it's cool, it's great, and it grabs kids, it hooks kids, it brings them into the museum to see the bone. They can come and see it, it's on exhibit, but they can also see what we have going on at the museum. There's a lot of people who've never been here, never knew we were here, so bring them in, see the bones, see the rest of the museum, look at our programming, and see what else we have to offer. So it's a great hook to bring in people, to attach Burpee to Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber in the world, and it's incredible, it's great. All right, so this here is another bone that we pulled out with Mr. Beast out in the quarry. This is a lower leg bone, it's a fibula. So it's the smaller of the two leg bones. You have the shin bone, which is the tibia, then the smaller one is the fibula. So this is the fibula to probably a Diplodocus as well, but not the same dinosaur, the individual that the bone upstairs is to, but this was right next to that bone in the quarry. So there's actually another one just like this back in the quarry. These two were crisscrossed on top of each other, and this one was on top. So we pulled this one out first, got this out of the way, and that's when we went after the big bone that was in the quarry that is now on exhibit upstairs. So when we were out there, usually we give nicknames to a skeleton. The problem with the Hanksville quarry is that it's a number of dinosaurs buried together, and they're not together as a skeleton, it's just bone piles. So we don't have a complete skeleton that we know of. So when the director was out there, he asked us, he's like, does this dinosaur have a name? And I pretty much told him we don't really name just individual bones. And he's like, could you? And so my response was, I'll tell you what, if I can take this bone back to the museum, put it on exhibit, name it Mr. Beast, and talk about what we did out here, I'll name it Mr. Beast. He looks at me and he goes, I love it, let's do it. So it was just serendipitous that this, in fact, is the biggest bone that we've pulled out of the quarry in the 18 plus years we've been out there. So it was just fitting to call it Mr. Beast, and it just worked out well. It worked out great.